Okay, I'm Caitlin Woods, and this is my diversity interview. What's your name, age, and where did you grow up?
My name is Bryson. I'm 20 years old, and I grew up in Orange County, California.
Okay. What are your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors about ethnicity, and how does it affect your life?
I think it's a pretty big topic, especially in like these times, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of makes up who you are as a person.
Yeah, I would agree. How do you identify? Like, what race do you identify with, and your gender, and what class would you say your family's a part of?
Like, okay, so my ethnicity is Hispanic, but my race is white.
Okay.
How I appear.
Yeah.
But my family's actually they're Mexican from Spain.
Oh,
So
cool.
We're
Okay.
Spaniard.
Yeah.
We actually have direct lineage to King Ferdinand of Spain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Would you say your family belongs like middle class, high class? High
I'd say
middle?
like middle high.
Okay, gotcha. Do you have any memorable experiences growing up? Like maybe with like a family member when it comes to being Hispanic or anything like that?
I mean, the most like I can think of like when it comes to that, like family gatherings at my grandma's house,
Okay, yeah.
because we'd always have like Mexican food.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't really do that anywhere else, but her house was surrounded by family.
Alright. Cool. So what have been your observations of the changes in race relations like over our lifetime or like recently in society?
I feel it wasn't like super big like growing up. Like race was talked about in school, but like it was really only talked about during like history.
Yeah.
Like when they're talking about like slavery and such, but nothing until like the George Floyd thing.
Yeah.
So BLM. I feel race wasn't super important until that event happened.
I gotcha. Yeah. Do you have any like funny memories when it comes to like your race or anything? Or like maybe a friend that would have a funny memory? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay. So have you faced any like challenging experiences when being Hispanic, like from your hometown or anything, or here even?
Not necessarily, because one of how I appear.
Yeah.
Most people don't even know I'm Hispanic
That makes
unless
sense.
I mention it. And then so here, no. Back home, no, because it's also pretty diverse back home too.
Yeah.
So.
So what is your perception of your power in society? Like, do you think that has anything to do with your gender or your race, or are you just kind of on the fence about that?
If I have power in society, I feel it would be because I'm a male.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think me being Hispanic would have anything to do with it.
Okay. Do you think it limits your power at all?
I think in some areas of the world it could, but I don't know.
Not where you are right now?
No.
Yeah, okay. How do you believe that how well do you think the media represents men?
I mean, it depends like what context.
Yeah.
Like it could be, they could represent them really well or really bad, depending on like the situation being talked about.
Yeah, I agree with that. So what about women? Do you think?
I think that goes the same.
Yeah.
It goes both ways for both genders, I feel.
Okay. All right. Now those are the required questions. I'm gonna go into the questions that I wrote. So where did you grow up, and how does it compare to where we are right now in Norman?
So, being from Orange County, California, I grew up in a small town called Yorba Linda. It's quite a small town. It's become more of like a suburb.
Yeah.
Because before, like growing up too, there's a bunch of like dirt areas and a bunch of ranches. Those have all been turned into like townhomes and apartments and like town plazas with restaurants and such. Like the community itself, I didn't really notice that, I feel like, until maybe high school. It's becoming more diverse because obviously I would see more, like white people, and some Mexican too. But then we started getting Asian and Indian, and especially in high school and with all the new houses too.
Yeah, more, a lot of people are moving there.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of Asian and Indian people moving into our area.
Okay, sweet. So would you say it's more diverse than Norman, or probably about the same?
I'd say very more diverse.
Okay. Great. So that was my next question: is if you grew up in a diverse city, and were a lot of your friends diverse, or were they more of one race, or was it gender, like?
I feel my first couple friends, like who I met through like school and like programs, they were Asian. I had this one friend named Christian who I met, I don't know, at like the gym playground or something. I haven't talked to him in over 15 years, but
oh wow.
Yeah, we just had, our moms had a falling out. So,
okay.
But I met this guy at the gym, like playground.
Yeah.
Who actually ended up going to school with for almost all my life up until high school. His name was Daniel Park. He was Korean. So he was my first friend. And then I had this friend named Landon who was kind of similar background to me, like Hispanic. I don't know exactly what part. But and then the majority of my other friends were white or Mexican.
Gotcha. So do you think that friend group is a lot more diverse than the one you have here? Probably.
I feel, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over time, my friend group kind of shifted from diverse to kind of just one race.
Yeah.
I feel like, especially, well, race, yes, but ethnicity. I have friends who are Danish.
Okay.
I don't know what race my other friend is.
Yeah.
Or I know he's white. But.
So, when did you first become conscious about your race? Or your ethnicity?
Well, I'd say my first early memory would be like from family gatherings, from the food we ate, because we'd eat like Mexican fried rice, beans, tacos, carne asada, chips and salsa.
Yeah.
Like that. Just from early memories, that's when I would say I was first conscious. But at the time, I wasn't super. I wasn't taught about race.
You didn't really think it was like different from any of your friends or anything.
I'd say it was probably in high school, probably senior year, because my grandma was really sick.
Okay.
So I would have to do a lot of stuff with her, and I'm Catholic, and she's a hard devout Catholic as well. So she would, pray her rosary, and she would do it in Spanish or Latin.
Yeah.
And her first language, I think, was Spanish, because she would speak to her husband in Spanish too. But it didn't, really hit me until high school that I was, Hispanic.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. So when do you think about your ethnicity? Like, does it come to your mind a lot? Like, especially when you're here, because you said, it's not as diverse as back home. So, like, do you think about it a lot, or?
A little bit, like, in terms, like, when I fill out, like, applications, and they ask for ethnicity and race, and I never did it until, I don't know, like, junior, senior year when filling out, like, college stuff. They were like, my parents were like, well, you are Hispanic, so
you can put
so you can
Hispanic,
put it down. So that's what I would do, and that's pretty
much. So how does this is kind of the same thing, but how does being Hispanic affect your life in Oklahoma? Like, does it really have any effect on you, or?
I don't think it has a super big effect on me, because, the only difference is like, my family lives my family's in California.
Yeah.
So I feel like, like the family gatherings that we do. Like if I want Mexican food, I would either have to make it or I would have to go out to a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
But, I don't get that here.
Yeah.
I get that back home, but.
Yeah. So I know you said this, but you said people don't usually know you're Hispanic.
No. Well, so I'm Hispanic on my mom's side.
Mhm.
Like I said, we're Mexican from Spain,
Yeah.
so we're Spaniards. It's from when they conquered,
Yeah.
like the European conquered,
Mhm.
that stuff.
Yeah.
But my dad, he's French Canadian and Belgian.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and English. Yeah.
Gotcha. So do you attend any like cultural events here, or like you said you're Catholic? So do you like practice your faith here, or is that
Yes.
more back home?
I do go to church here.
Okay.
I go to church more back home
Mhm.
with family because we're all Catholic.
Yeah.
But out here, I just kind of go by myself, just to practice my faith and
Gotcha.
have some time with God.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wait, backtrack just a little bit.
Gotcha.
My mom's maiden name is Perez,
Oh, okay.
so because my last name is Bissonnette, which
So
is
that's probably why people don't
Yeah.
really.
most people when they hear I'll be like, oh, my name's Bryson Bissonnette. People will be like, oh, are you French or French
Yeah.
Canadian, or some people will even think I'm Italian.
Yeah, I remember when you met my mom over the weekend. She was like, immediately she even thought you were French because she
Yeah.
said how French your last name sounds.
Yeah. My old football coach would say, he would call me Bissonnette.
Mhm.
That's how you're supposed to say it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it's Bissonnette.
Gotcha. So if it was hard, what was the hardest thing about growing up in Hispanic households? Like maybe compared to your other friends? Like if you went over to their house, like how different do you think it was?
I think, it wasn't necessarily too hard
Yeah.
for me. I think that's in part to my parents and what social class we're in.
Yeah, it kind of just depends on that.
Yeah.
Right, probably.
But I think, for I'll talk about my mom a little bit. Both her parents were Hispanic growing up. They also have a little bit of Native American in them.
Mhm.
We don't know what tribe,
Yeah.
but we do know there is Native American in there.
Okay.
But then my mom and her two brothers, growing up, my grandma wanted to teach them Spanish,
Yeah.
but it was a very different time back when they were in grade school.
Yeah.
And my grandpa was like, we cannot teach them Spanish as their first language because they will be put in the special needs class in
Oh
grade
wow.
school. So they didn't even get to learn Spanish at all.
That's insane.
Yeah, they did, but
Yeah.
they couldn't,
Yeah,
practice
it's
it
just-
within their own household or with themselves.
Yeah.
And
So did you ever really get an opportunity to learn Spanish or?
only in high school.
Yeah.
So when I started taking Spanish class,
Yeah.
and I liked it because I got to want to learn another language, and so I get to learn about all the countries and how different all the cultures are in
Mhm.
each country. Like my sophomore year of high school, my teacher, her name is Miss Nicholson, but she's from Peru,
Okay.
and she would kind of teach us a little bit about how different it is in Mexico compared to Peru. I guess tacos. You think of the hard shell with the meat.
Yeah.
Right? Apparently in Peru, tacos means shoe.
Oh, okay.
So when she would go out to eat, the teachers would be like, "Oh, let's go get tacos." She'd be like, "You want to go get shoes?"
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean.
and then we have to do a Spanish presentation on
Yeah.
a country in Spanish,
Mhm.
and my country that year was Chile,
Mhm.
and we have to make a food to present and share it with the class. So I made this mango salsa, and in America most people eat salsa with tortilla chips.
Yeah.
But, apparently in other Spanish countries you just eat salsa with other stuff. You don't use tortilla chips.
Yeah, it's not like a dip.
Yeah. So my teacher was kind of getting mad at me for serving the tortilla chips with the mango salsa.
Interesting.
But, I don't think anyone wants to eat salsa by the spoon.
Yeah,
So-
seriously.
So I just did it. Still got a good grade on it.
That's good. But you wouldn't say that you said your mom is fully Hispanic, right?
Yeah,
So you wouldn't say that her ethnicity really. Do you think it influenced